What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. It's Arsiney. Let's get productive. Now, I know we've all seen it. We've all been on our Instagram accounts and we've all scrolled down our IG and we get flooded with non-stop offers for new plugins, new VSTs, all these new cheap VSTs and new cheap plugins. And when I say cheap, I don't mean cheap like bad quality. I mean cheap like affordable. So the good cheap, not the bad cheap. But our timelines are getting flooded with all of these new VSTs, and honestly, for me at least, it's getting really hard to keep up with. But I love it. Like, I love new sounds. I love new opportunities to be creative, and it's getting really dope that, like, in this musical landscape, it's becoming so easy to have access to all of these new different kinds of sounds. So I'm constantly seeing new plugins, and I came across one the other day called Virtual Power by Virtual Waves. A lot of these new plugins and these new VSTs are made by producers for producers, so I like to really give them a chance and really try them out because, you know, we're producers and we know what we like. I think it's really dope that producers are stepping their foot in the software game and starting to curate their own VSTs and come up with new sounds for us to use. And I think another reason I think it's really dope is because it's made by producers, they usually have really great customer service. Like, you can usually hit these guys up and they'll respond and they'll talk to you about the VST, and, you know, if you have a problem, you can get in contact with them. And I just think it's really great. So I'm not one of those haters that hates all of these new cheap VSTs. You know, I'm gonna stop using the word cheap. We're gonna come up with another word, because a lot of these cheap VSTs are actually better than some of these more expensive ones. A lot of these cheap VSTs are at least as far as the sounds go, are way better than these $100 and $200 VSTs. So we'll say instead of cheap, what word can we use? We'll use available. Nah, we'll probably pick a different word, but for now we're going to use available. But every time I come across one that's really good, I like to, you know, review it on my channel and give it a spotlight, give it a chance to be presented to the masses, to you guys, so you guys can have an opportunity to check out these new sounds and indulge the way I've been indulging. And Virtual Power is another one of those VSTs that I think is very much slept on, and I'm not sure that everyone knows just how much power this thing has and what all it can do to help your production. So we're going to go over Virtual Power, a few of the things I like, a few of the things I dislike, and you can check it out with me and we can decide if this is something that you may want to check out yourself. So let's get right into it. So Virtual Power, since the first thing that's up here is the interface, we'll talk about the user interface. With this interface, I gotta be honest with you, whenever I come across these new plugins that have a lot going on graphically with the GUI, not only in the effects and everything that's going on in it, but sometimes the design itself, there's a lot going on. I'm not really into that look. So when this first popped up on my Instagram account, where I saw it the first time in the promo, that was a little bit of a turn off. But I was immediately shocked that as soon as I downloaded it, it wasn't gimmicky. This whole graphics that you can change the graphics here on the GUI. See, I'm scrolling through the graphics here, and you can change the screen, the color, and the different graphics that are happening in front of you while you're creating music. And I thought that would be a little cheesy, but actually, as I worked and created music, it is a little bit inspiring. It's weird, but it is. Like, I do enjoy looking at it. Like, while I'm going through the sounds, it's really cool to play a sound and have something graphically going on that just gives the sound a little bit more feeling. It's kind of cool. I do enjoy it a little bit. Now, I spoke to one of the representatives at Virtual Waves, and I let them know that for me personally, my copy of Virtual Power, it seemed like it was a little bit glitchy. Now, as you'll see here, when you click and try to go through some of the sounds, there's a little bit of lag. There's a little bit of latency. Like, I'll click and then, you know, it'll take a second before it goes through the list. And there's no latency in playing the sounds. So fortunately, you can play the sounds and there's no static or anything like that. Let's see. So the sounds are just fine. There's no static or anything like that. So there isn't a problem with the plugin itself, and as far as it like actually generating the sounds and playing the sounds when you hit the keys on the keyboard. But there's a little bit of latency, a little bit of lag, a little bit of glitchiness in my program. Like I said, I spoke to one of the representatives from the company, and I let them know, and honestly, they were really cool. They responded really quickly. They have really great customer service, and they said that it was something they were going to look into. I personally feel like it might just be mine. It may not be everyone else's. If you have virtual power and you're having the same issue, let me know down in the comments section. But that little bit of glitchiness didn't stray me too far off the plugin, because as soon as I started going through the sounds, I really loved what I heard in the plugin. The sound selection for this thing is beautiful. Like, they have some really, really, really great sounds. So the glitchiness didn't bother me that much, and I do like the graphics. Now, I did notice that when I go down here in this right corner and I click that little settings tab right there, they do have the option to zoom in or out of the GUI, so you can make it a lot bigger or you can make it smaller. Now, what I noticed is the bigger I make it, obviously, the more glitchy it became. And when I went down to 50% and I really zoomed in and looked at what was happening, there was no more glitchiness. Everything was moving smooth, and I was able to go through the sounds fairly quickly. So I do feel like maybe the glitchiness has something to do with the graphics that's happening. Pardon the motorcycle. But anyway, I do feel like the graphics have something to do with maybe some of the glitchiness. I'm not 100% sure. But I was, like I said before, I was quickly able to move past the glitchiness because the sounds are really good. So we'll go through the GUI real quick. Out of all of the graphics, the one I found myself really into, the one that was the most inspiring to me while I create, was this one. I like this purple universe galactic kind of flare thing that's happening right here in the center, and it's really cool to look at while you're creating music. But they also have this thing here, which is another really cool thing, the little triangle with the cubes kind of coming at you. That's really cool. They have this forest setting right here. This one is not really my thing, but I mean, I guess that's a peaceful look. I'm changing the graphics right now manually, but what I'll show you in a second is, as you go through the sounds and go through the different categories of sounds, there are graphics that are dedicated to those categories. So I guess, you know, just what feels right with the category you're in. They have this statue thing here. It's got kind of a retro 80s kind of look. This kind of hip-hop b-boy walking on a lit floor thing. I'm not really into that one. Again, more graphics, lines and triangles and things like that. This one is it's weird. I wasn't really into this one, but I was making a beat the other day and this one kind of inspired me a little bit, so I guess I am more into it than I thought I was. But my favorite one is this one right here. You know, so we're gonna call this one the Thanos, the purple giant. We're gonna call this one the Thanos. So I like the Thanos graphic, the Thanos theme that's happening right here. You'll see right here, you have on the left side, you have your effects list. It's equipped with reverb, delay, EQ. You have your LFO, your phaser, your chorus. You have an arpeggiator, and you have random MIDI. Now, this is one right here. I'm gonna click on random MIDI. This right here, it pops up on the right side, the random MIDI section. This is one of the things that I think really separates this plugin from a lot of the other plugins. I'd say the what were we calling it? A lot of the other available plugins that are coming out right now, and everyone, you know, all of these producers, made for producers, by producers, are making these plugins. This is one of the things that I think separates this plugin from the rest, is this random MIDI right here. So I know that you guys have seen these random MIDI generators. You know, you kind of you kind of drag and drop, or you can just kind of hit a key and it'll create. You can just kind of hit a button and it'll create melodies for you. This thing is really cool because it comes built into this VST, so you can actually create a melody, get the MIDI file and drag the MIDI file right here, and it'll show up right down here in this bottom square, and you can click the randomize MIDI button right here, and it'll change that melody that you created and give you a new melody, and you can click it a few times and it'll come up with a few different melodies, and you can do that for any melody you create. And I think that that's a really good feature, a really cool feature, and it's something that you can have a lot of fun with. It's especially cool when you pair it up with the arpeggiator. So to use the random MIDI and use the arpeggiator at the same time, you can come up with some really cool trap melodies, some really bouncy melodies, and that's really cool. So yeah, on the right side here is where the different effects will pop up. That's the random MIDI effect. You click arpeggiator. You have your arpeggiator here, your chorus, your phaser, your LFO. Up here you have your filter settings, attack, release, all of your standard stuff. And over here on the right side you have two different sound engines. So you can go through the sounds and you can combine sounds and come up with new interesting things. You have these two right here. I'm a presets guy, so I like just going through the presets. Keep it simple for me. So this is your sound bank right here, your sound library. It's divided into 3 different categories. So you have your genre and types of sounds. So you have ambient, cinematic, dark, ethnic, miscellaneous, hip-hop, lo-fi, techno, house, trap, R&B, chill. And then after you go and click on the genre or type of sound that you're listed, or type of sounds that you're looking for, I'm bugging. Anyway, you'll have those different instruments for that category. So you have 808s, you have a bass, you have bells, you have flutes, guitars for the trap, R&B, chill. You go to cinematic dark, you have bells, brass, choirs. So I do like the way that this thing is broken up. You can click your flutes and then you have a list of flutes. I like the way that they broke it up into these 3 categories instead of just 2 or 1. It does make it a lot simpler and easier to find exactly what you're looking for, especially in a VST like this that comes with a lot of different sounds. You don't have to fumble through, thousands of sounds just to find one that you're really into, one that you're really interested in for what you're working on. The way that they break this down, it really makes it easy for you to find what you're looking for. So let's say, for instance, we're working on a trap beat. You can go to the trap genre here. Looking for 808. You can go to 808s here. You can go through the different 808s. And I actually really do like the 808s that come on this thing. The quality of the 808 is really good. The pitch is corrected and it sounds really good. And it's not a lot of static or, just a bad bit rate or quality in the 808. It sounds really good. And you can just go through the different 808s. This one is really cool. If you want to select the 808, you just go right back up here to the top where you click for your sound bank, and you just click it, and you've selected that. And this is an example of what I'm talking about. So when I selected the 808, it brought me to this graphic on the user interface, this blue kind of retro graphic. You can still change that if you're not into it. I can change it back to this purple graphic and I still have my 808. But you'll notice as you go through the sounds in the different categories, the graphic is going to change automatically. Again, more cool stuff to just keep you interested in the VST and playing with it for hours. So yeah, you have your 808s here. I like a lot of the arpeggiators that come in this thing. You have a lot of them. As you can see over here on the right side, you have presets 1 ARP and presets 2 melodies. We can kind of go through some. We have that. We got a little ethnic swing. Let's see what this is. I really like the sounds. So I really like the sounds that come in this thing. They're different. They're spacious. I love spacious sounds in my melodies. They're futuristic. They're different. And going back to what I said earlier about the fact that so many of these types of VSTs are coming out, it's cool when you come across one that comes out that stands out from the rest and actually has some really great sounds, and it's not just your typical bells and all of these different kind of things. Like, there's actually, you could tell the people that put this together actually took the time to curate really dope sounds for the plugin. I really think that's what they did here, and I enjoy it. You could use this in a trap, beat. I like how the arpeggiators are kind of ready to go. So I'm just going through a few of those right now. Guess we could do a quick little something with this, a quick little beat or something with this. Y'all know how I do. As soon as I hear something I like, I gotta do something with it. So we can do that. Let's try some guitars. So we're in the ambient section right here. This guitar is kind of cool. This one is called My Space. We'll add that in there. One thing I like to do to kind of be nice to my CPU when I'm working on beats, a lot of times if I've done something that I know that I like already, I'll just bounce the sound out in place so I can just turn it into a wave file. That way I don't have to keep opening up a whole bunch of the same plugin, and all of that is using up memory on the computer. I think it's a little bit easier on the computer if I just bounce these things out as wave files and just keep one plugin open. So I like how these things sound, so I'll just bounce them out. Sometimes I'll wait till I finish making the beat to bounce things out, but for the sake of right now, we'll do some trap bass or something. Let's see. I do wish that I could just go through the sounds and not have to actually click on it to use it. But I kind of like how that sounds right there. That's a minor thing, The sounds are dope, so I'm not sweating it. Let me go to the Thanos power right there. Paste the bass, or actually we'll turn the bass into a wave file. And we will copy and paste that. So let's see. Let's get some drums in here. Yo, this graphic is fire. I really think this is cool, and it's so weird because this was like my least favorite thing about the plug. Like when I saw the plugin pop up on my IG, this interface with like the graphics and stuff was like my least favorite thing, and now I'm loving it so much that, you know, when it's in front of me, like it's just really cool to look at. And there are other plugins that kind of have things like that, that like when you hit the key, something graphically happens. But this has like a whole television screen in front of your face and graphics happening. And it's really cool. I'm like purposely adding mad sounds to this beat just because I want to go through some of these sounds and show you more of what they have. So they have some keys. And again, 6 different categories. With their own sets of instruments for each category. Some flutes. I like this flute right here. It's pretty cool. A little different. So with those snare in there. Too many. I got a little hype. Added a little bit too many hits there. Right. Speed it up a little bit. I forgot. That's the problem with making some of the sounds into wave files, is when you want to change the tempo, they're kind of, you know, they're already bounced out at the tempo that they were. But on Logic, you can adjust that, you know, just adjust the timing. So we'll hit that there and go to polyphonic. Change these wave files into polyphonic, and now they will change with my tempo. Maybe add another element there with the virtual power, so we can go through virtual power. What kind of brass they got here? We'll add that. Dark. Really great sounds, man. This thing really has some dope sounds. This sound right here just gave that bass some fullness. That shit sounded epic. All right, we're gonna add that. We're gonna add that. So they put this little B-boy. I don't like out of all the graphics, I think I like that one the least, man. I gotta go back to my Thanos. That Thanos power. Alright, we're gonna add that bass in there, give it some warmth. Definitely beefed it up. So yeah, man. So yeah, man, virtual power is a powerful VST. Like I said before, some of the things that I really like about this thing is that Midi randomizer. I didn't test it out this time around because frankly, I have no clue on how to use all of the settings in it. I'm still kind of feeling my way around the VST. I'm still learning it. And there's no tutorial video at the moment. So feel free to leave a comment down below, and if you have any questions about the randomizer, I'm sure by the time this video goes up, I'll know a lot more about it, and I can answer some of those questions for you. Just at the moment while I'm making this video, I haven't used all the features yet, so you know, I didn't want to give you guys bad information. But the fact that you can have a MIDI randomizer in the VST, and the fact that it's there and that you can use it and do different things with it, I think that's dope, and I think I'm gonna get a lot of usage out of that. The sounds that this thing comes with is dope. Like, if you're looking at those Instagram ads and you're trying to figure out if this is a VST you should get, the answer is yes. Like, the VST is great, the price is great. You're not gonna fail by purchasing this VST at all. Some of the things that I think could be adjusted and maybe an update or something. I do wish that you could adjust the size of the VST without having to go to a separate settings menu, that you could just kind of click on the corner, drag, and make the VST, the GUI bigger or smaller. Maybe a few more skins, but again, I feel like that's different. I feel like that's something that can be added on with an update. I do like the idea of having that whole graphic interface in the GUI to kind of inspire and just give you a good vibe and a good energy while you're creating. And I think a few more options of those would be really cool. And that's about it. Everything else, I really like this thing, man. There's nothing else. There's very little that I can find to complain about. The company is awesome. I contacted them about a few issues I was having, and they responded right away. So yeah, this is another one of those for producers, made by producers. That's a win. If you're thinking about picking this thing up, again, I would say go for it. I thoroughly enjoy this VST, and if you already have it, I hope you enjoy it too. So yeah, that's the end of this review. Please leave your comments. Let me know how you're feeling about this VST. Let me know if there's any new VSTs that came out that you haven't seen on this channel yet that you would like for me to review and you want to know more about. I'll definitely look into it. I really make these videos for you guys, and I really want you guys to communicate and engage with me so that we can you know, just share information with each other. Like, I'm always looking for new sounds, and I'm always looking for new dope VSTs. So I look forward to hearing from you guys down in the comment section. If you're checking this video out and you haven't yet done so, please hit the subscribe button and turn on your alerts so you can stay notified for all of the upcoming videos, all of the upcoming reviews, I have some beat making videos coming out. A lot of really cool things for you guys. So stay notified, stay productive, stay creative, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.